You guys are really gonna hate me after this video, but I'm gonna tell you why the 6th Gen 4Runner is just better. Alright, so let's get one thing straight here. I am a die-hard 5th Gen 4Runner guy. I have a 2021 TRD Off-Road Premium, and that was my dream car up until the day that I bought it. I always have loved the 5th Gen 4Runner, and I always will. Now, when Toyota initially announced the 6th Gen, I thought it was a big loss and a big flop from the 5th Gen. Even up until about a month and a half ago, I still felt that way, that the 5th Gen was superior in almost every single way to the 6th Gen. But I'm gonna tell you guys just exactly why I was wrong. So, first things first, the 6th Gen has a lot of new tech in it. It's got a whole bunch of new bells and whistles. I don't care. I really don't care about any of the new tech in the 6th Gen. There's a couple of things there that I think are nice and they're practical, but overall it really doesn't do it for me. I don't really care. My 5th Gen looks like it just came out in 2010, and that's fine. It does what I need it to do, and it does it perfectly well. Yes, the 6th Gen is 10 times better. Absolutely, there's no denying. The 6th Gen has wireless Apple CarPlay, something that I've wanted in my 5th Gen for years. Overall, there's no denying the 6th Gen is leaps and bounds better than the 5th Gen as far as technology. It's practically a spaceship when you compare the two next to each other. I love my 5th Gen, and I'm just fine with the interior the way it is. As outdated and terrible as it is by today's standards, it just does what I need it to do. If I were to upgrade to the 6th Gen over the 5th Gen, it would have nothing to do with the interior tech or any of those bells and whistles. But Derek, if it's not for all the fancy tech in the 6th Gen, why on earth would you switch from the trusted 5th Gen? Let's talk about my reason number one, the most important thing to me, the reason why I actually think the 6th Gen is better than the 5th Gen. First things first, I bought the 5th Gen 4Runner to begin with as a utility vehicle. I bought the vehicle because I like to go places. I like to go places like Imogene Pass, Death Valley, Alabama Hills in California. I like to hit up some of my favorite locations in Oregon. I like to hit up southern Utah. I needed a utility vehicle that could get me off-road reliably with my camera equipment to those locations and that I could camp out of and keep my gear safe from theft and from the elements. Here's where it gets a little bit more intimate. I think the 5th Gen 4Runner is the best vehicle, hands down, on the market for photographers and videographers. I love getting into the backcountry and photographing unique landscapes. That's actually what got me into this to begin with. The reason why I picked the 5th Gen 4Runner long before I ever worked for 4Runner Lifestyle or even knew that 4Runner Lifestyle existed was because it fit everything that I needed it to do. It was the perfect overall utility vehicle. Overall, the 5th Gen 4Runner was the perfect utility vehicle for so many different people, especially for photographers and videographers. Don't take my word for it though, just look at how many famous photographers and videographers choose the 5th Gen 4Runner. Cody Kong, Jake Guzman, Andrew Imhoff, we've got Carson Olmstead. These are all just people here locally that I know have a 5th Gen 4Runner. Now for me, it was no different when it came to choosing a vehicle. The 5th Gen 4Runner just made the most sense. Over the years, there came to be three things that I really valued. I needed a vehicle that was reliable. That was the most important thing to me. I needed a vehicle that I knew I could trust, especially when I'm going into the backcountry of Death Valley. In the end, I ended up being a little bit torn between the 3rd Gen Toyota Tacoma and the 5th Gen 4Runner, and what sealed the deal for me was the ability to lock my gear and store everything in the back of the 5th Gen, as well as the ability to car camp. Now, knowing my top 3 criteria for why I picked the 5th Gen, would I have picked the 6th Gen if I were starting over from scratch? That one's a little bit harder to answer, but I'm going to tell you why overall I do think the 6th Gen is actually a better choice overall than the 5th Gen. One word, we're going to go over the reason why I think the 6th Gen is actually a better platform than the 5th Gen 4Runner, and it's one word: practicality. Specifically off-road and on-road driving. Now, I know you guys have heard us talk about how much better this thing is to drive and how much faster it is, but the speed has nothing to do with it for me. I'm actually not a fan of turbos just in general. I know I'm gonna get absolutely slaughtered in the comments for saying that. I don't really care. I don't really care to hear the turbo noises I don't really care how it sounds. I don't really care about the performance boost. I just need a vehicle that gets me to the place I'm trying to go. Whether it's overlanders or photographers or people that are just doing some off-roading, is no matter what you're doing, no matter where you're going, yeah, your vehicle is off-road capable, but the majority of your driving to get to those locations is still going to be on-road driving. Here's where I'm going with all of this. Every step you take to make your 5th Gen 4Runner more capable off-road, the more obnoxious it is to take it on long road trips on road. And man, you guys are gonna hate me for this one, but you know it's true. The 5th Gen 4Runner, that naturally aspirated V6, it's bulletproof, but it does not like pushing those bigger tires and the weight. It already struggles enough as it is to get up to speed. You can hear it kind of gasping for air as you're trying to floor it on the freeway, as you're trying to make it to 60 or 70. I know some of you have said in our comments before that you don't really experience that, you don't know what we're talking about, but I think it's for a lot of people a common thing they can relate to, is the 5th Gen 4Runner is a little bit slow and a little bit sluggish. And for on-road driving, as you start to make this thing capable to the point where it can do a lot of these trails, you got skids, sliders, bumpers, bigger tires, a roof rack, a rooftop tent, this thing just gets heavy and it just sucks driving it on the road. I love the thing to death. I still will do it. I'll still drive the 5th Gen built out and weighed down. I love it so much, but man, it does not handle the weight or the ability to push those bigger tires very good at all. This is exactly where I think the 6th Gen 4Runner really stands out the most. Honestly, it's the most important thing to me that I think would convince 5th Gen 4Runner owners to switch to the 6th Gen. And I'm going to kind of break this up a little bit. Not only is the on-road capability better in the 6th Gen as a daily driver and for long road trips, but I also think it starts to play into the off-road capability too. It's the on-road capability and the off-road capability I think are both better on the 6th Gen than on the 5th Gen. The 6th Gen 4Runner mounts bigger tires like it's nothing. Toyota definitely listened to the complaints people had with the 5th Gen, and I am positive this is something they did intentionally, because mounting 35s on this 6th Gen we have right here was a walk in the park. And I mean, it was a piece of cake. It did not take much of anything to make these 35s fit this 6th Gen. Marginal cutting. I mean, we're talking barely anything. And this thing clears these 35s no problem. Full turn radius, over obstacles, you name it, it just clears these tires. This is where there's going to be a big difference between you and me, most likely. Some people love to modify their vehicles. They love to cut them up. They love having something to work on. They love having a project car. They love having a car that's in need of some kind of work because they enjoy the process of working on their vehicle. That's not me. That has never been me, and it never will be me. I bought a Toyota specifically because I hate having to fix things on my vehicle. I want it to just work. I want it to get me places. I need it as a tool to get me to the places I'm trying to go to. And having to do a whole bunch of geometry in order to make things work, for some people, and a lot of people here at 4Runner Lifestyle, like Jordan, for example, that's his whole life. He is all about modifying the vehicle and spending all of his time working on his truck. That's not me. That's just not me. So for me and you, that might be different. I don't know. But for me, the vehicle getting me to the place I need to go and me being able to quickly and easily get it prepared to do that is all I care about. Again, this is where I'm going to be different from a lot of 4Runner owners, but I value simplicity and effectiveness over modularity in a lot of ways, which, you know, a lot of you are not going to agree with me. So from the get-go, the 6th Gen has significant advantages here. We've got this 6th Gen 4Runner on 35-inch tires. We've driven it like this to California Overland Expo and back. We've taken it to southern Utah. We've gone off-roading in it. We've taken it all over the place. Right next to our 5th Gen 4Runner, we've done some of the same trails, some of the same roads. And I am telling you that driving to Costa Mesa, California from Utah down I-15 is so much more annoying in the 5th Gen 4Runner than it is in the 6th Gen 4Runner. The 6th Gen just moves these bigger tires better. This new powertrain, whatever Toyota is doing, the 4-cylinder turbo hybrid, 4-cylinder turbo, they both push bigger tires way better than the naturally aspirated V6 ever did on the 5th gen. Again, in a lot of ways, this might be where you and me are different, but for me, the on-road capability matters. Driving it long distance matters. Again, that's why I bought a Toyota. I'm trying to go places. I'm trying to go to distant locations, and the ability to drive it on road comfortably and safely, even with all the stuff we have mounted on it, there's no questions asked, the 6th gen is better. So that's on-road capability, but some of you might be saying, yeah, whatever, on-road capability. You like to drive these long road trips. I'm trying to overland. I'm trying to do some off-roading. Again, you're building this vehicle to be on-road and off-road capable. The difference here is not only is the 6th gen better on-road, it's better off-road too. I don't even think this is a debate. I don't even think you can argue that the 5th gen 4Runner is better off-road. Having seen the way the 6th gen 4Runner performs and the way Toyota fixed some of the small things, it's little things that people aren't talking about, like the approach angle, the breakover angle, is better on the 6th gen. Even marginally, I've seen the difference that it makes. Then you've just got small things like the ability to mount bigger tires. Running 35s on this thing is a piece of cake. 35s have some advantages off-road over 32.5 or 33s. You got a lot more tire there. It's nice to be able to eat those rocks off-road. It's a small difference, but in some of those situations, that small difference makes a big deal. In every scenario you can think of, the 6th gen has an advantage. Bigger tires, more power off-road. It's easier to get over obstacles with that clearance and get power to get through them. With the hybrid model, you have way more torque than you did in the 5th gen, so you've got way more power when you're trying to do some of these obstacles, and that really, in the end, is the most important thing that I think makes the 6th gen better than the 5th gen. It's better on road. It's better off-road. Those two things right there seal the deal for me. Those two things are the main reasons why I would choose a 6th gen over a 5th gen. That would be the deciding factor for me. The ability to mount larger tires, to put more things, more weight on this thing, to load this thing down, and then it just works, it just goes, it just performs. To be able to have a vehicle with all that weight, all modded out, 35-inch tires, and then still cakewalk down to Costa Mesa, or it's a breeze to drive all the way up to Alaska, that's a big deal for me, that's important. So I really think overall, the main reason why the 6th gen is a better platform than the 5th gen 4Runner, especially for what I'm using it for, it might not be the same for you, is because I think it performs better on and off-road. That's really what it is. Another factor to take into consideration that is actually significant to me is gas mileage. So according to the specs, the 6th gen is going to be getting better gas mileage than the 5th gen. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, I have no idea, because we have tried to compare these two. We haven't done a super scientific test where we've actually sat down and measured from point A to point B, which we will be doing on this channel here soon. But the biggest thing for us that we've noticed is that if there is an increase in gas mileage, it might be negligible, at least because it's hard for us to compare. With the 5th gen, this thing is loaded down. I mean, this thing is weighed down. We've got full skids, full bumpers, sliders, roof rack, rooftop tent, roto packs, you name it, 33-inch tires, it's on here. And so you can't really compare it to this because that isn't fair. Then this thing's rocking 35-inch tires, it's already built out. The other thing that we've noticed makes it hard to compare is this thing just drives different. Even driving the same, so that you're not as heavy on the gas, you're not accelerating as much, you're not getting as much power. Trying to drive these vehicles the same way is very hard. So a fair comparison is not something we've been able to do just yet. We will in the future. I just can't say for sure which one's better. So now let's talk to some of the other 5th gen owners here at 4Runner Lifestyle and see what they think about the 6th gen.
So I'm Connor, I'm the owner here at 4Runner Lifestyle. My first car was a 3rd gen 4Runner in 1998, and now I own a 4th gen, a 5th gen, and a 6th gen. So the thing is, like, over my time, over my ownership of this 5th gen 4Runner, I, like many others, have definitely found some things that could use improvement over the years. And I mean, gas mileage is a huge issue with the 5th gens, really crappy gas mileage. And then it rides pretty rough with the bigger tires. Like, it doesn't really handle the bigger tires very well. First of all, you can't fit very big tires without excessive trimming and modifications. But then when you do get them on, like it rides pretty rough. And then it's, you know, we all know that the 4Runner, the 5th gen, is pretty gutless. And so that's been definitely something that has been bothersome. Having this car is like just, I mean, even like merging onto the freeway, I'm like, all right, let's go. Like 10 business days later and we are up to freeway speeds. So there's definitely those things that have made you desire more out of the car, and I, like many others, have experienced that. It's what we always complain about. I mean, we're always posting memes about it on the 4Runner Lifestyle page, and like everyone is like, oh, it's so relatable. So I feel like we all wanted those improvements. So when the 6th gen came out and it's got better gas mileage, can easily fit bigger tires, it rides smooth, it's got all the tech in it, it's got all the safety features. I personally love the look of it, and it also has got a lot more power, a lot more torque. And so to hear like all the 4Runner fans be complaining about those things, and I'm like, wait, aren't these the things that we've been complaining about for so long that they just addressed? But then we're complaining about those things now, saying, oh, I don't need all the tech in it. Oh, I don't need all that, you know, I don't want that 4-cylinder. I'm like, well, the 4-cylinder has a lot better gas mileage and a lot more power, and is turbocharged. I mean, it's just a great motor. It's not even close to the 5th gen one. It's so much faster. It's a lot better. You can tow better. You can fit bigger tires in the 6th gen. So to hear people complaining about it always made me laugh. But I feel like that's how enthusiasts are a lot of the time. It's like they'll hate change and something new, and then they'll come around to it, and then they really like it. It'll grow on them over time. I mean, I didn't even like the look of the 5th gen when it first came out. I mean, I thought it was pretty strange looking, and then over time, it's my favorite, best looking 4Runner in my opinion up until this point. And so, yeah, the enthusiasts just kind of kill me sometimes when I'm like, wait, haven't we spent the last decade or more complaining about these things, and then Toyota addresses every single one of the concerns, and then everyone's complaining about those things? I'm just like, all right, get in the 6th gen, drive it, and then tell me how you feel, because driving that car, as much as I love my 5th gen, it's night and day. It's definitely brought the 4Runner into the new modern era and addressed all of our concerns. And now that I've like driven the 6th gen, driving the 5th gen is like a pretty shocking experience. It's just so much smoother, even with bigger tires than I have on the 5th gen. It's just smoother. It's got all the tech. I've got several kids, so that's like the safety stuff is very important to me. Adaptive cruise control, which they had on later 5th gens, but mine didn't have it. Super nice, like having all the tech, having the rear view mirror be the camera is incredible. Since I load up the back of the 6th gen with gear, can't see out of the window. So, I mean, can't see out of the mirror and all the windows. So having that camera there is incredible.
How's it going, everybody? My name's Nathan Pennington. I do inventory management here at 4Runner Lifestyle. I daily drive my early 5th gen 4Runner every single day. It's got 298,000 miles on the dash, and my commute to work's about 45 minutes one way. So I've been in this thing a lot. I just barely received a lot of seat time in the 6th gen, just with us having it around the shop. And one of the things I absolutely love is the road driving on it. My early 5th gen's on 35s, and as we all know, it takes a little bit to get up to speed, 0 to 60 in 3 to 5 business days. So one of the things I really do love with the technology of the new 6th gen 4Runner is that adaptive cruise control, and with the 10-speed transmission, of how nice it is driving it on the road. One of the things I hate about the 6th gen 4Runner is just the look of it. I don't like the Hulk Hogan front bumper. Hopefully with the aftermarket support down the line, that'll look a little bit better. One of the things that I like about the 6th gen that the 5th gen doesn't have, and it might be kind of contradictive, but I do think that with everything we do to these poor 4Runners, with lifting them, the armor, and the skids, is I think that the hybrid turbo engine, in the long run, we'll see how it holds up, but I think it'll be just a lot better. At the end of the day, I think I'd take a 5th gen 4Runner in a cement paint I just think at the end of the day, it's had 14 years of tried and true proving itself. Not to say that the 6th gen won't be able to also do that. I think we all know by this time that Toyota might know what they're doing with their track history, but as of right now, I'm a 5th gen boy at heart. I definitely do think, as far as like on a daily driver aspect, after just going up to P&W, like the 5th gen struggled to keep up with the 6th gen, and so I think if you're going to be daily driving 90% of the time, the 6th gen 4Runner is going to be a lot better and excel in that category.
So there you have it, guys. Overall, I think the 6th gen 4Runner is a better platform because it is better on-road and it is better off-road. That's really what it comes down to for me. There's a few other features on there that I think are better. That's the most important one to me. Let me know what I got right, what I got wrong. I know Jordan's gonna have a lot to say about this video. He does not agree with me about a lot of the stuff with the 5th gen and the 6th gen, so let us know what you guys think about the 6th gen 4Runner, what you think about the 5th gen 4Runner, which one you would pick and why in the comments down below. We're gonna be doing a lot more head-to-head comparisons between these two, so let us know just exactly what you wanna see us to compare between the 6th gen and the 5th gen next. As always, you can find everything for your Toyota 4Runner, no matter what generation, 3rd generation, 4th generation, 5th generation, we have it all on our website, 4runnerlifestyle.com. I'll drop a link down there in the description. Be sure to follow us on Instagram for some ridiculous memes about how terrible the gas mileage is on the 5th gen, and you can see some cool videos of these trucks, so make sure you follow us there. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next video.